Hey everybody, this is the Facebook Ads with the Twang podcast. I'm your host Ben Blackman, and today we're answering the question, what the heck is the Facebook pixel anyway? So here comes episode number 15. Facebook Ads with the Twang is dedicated to taking the often overcomplicated process of creating simple, successful Facebook ads, breaking them down step by step in less than 10 minutes at a time. Let's get started. Welcome everybody to episode 15. Glad to have you here, and going to be talking about the Facebook pixel. And so before I get started on that, I just wanted to tell you something that I learned this week. And I don't want to say that I actually was because it's not the first time I've ever heard this, but it's the principle of what we call be, do, have. And what I mean by that is that, you know, a lot of times we get this backwards, me included, where we think if we just do this, then we'll be the person that we want to be, or, you know, or if we have these things, then we can do what we want and become the person we want to be. And really, it doesn't work that way. You know, you really have to be the person that you want to be first, and when you do that, then you'll be able to do the things that that kind of person does, and then you can have the things that that kind of person gets to have. And I hope that makes sense to you. At least it makes sense to me, and I've heard it, I can't tell you how many times over the years, and thought about it and always thought it was good, but for some reason this past week when I heard it on a podcast, it really resonated with me. So, you know, my effort now, you know, starting actually on Wednesday going forward, is really just working on being the kind of person I want to be. All right, being the kind of person that's able to do all these things with my family and to do all these things with my business. Being that person, that's what I'm trying to work on. So anyway, I just thought I'd share that with you before we jumped into the Facebook pixel. And the Facebook pixel stuff can be kind of dry anyway, so I figured maybe if I talked about something else in the beginning, maybe it might not be so bad. All right, so what is the Facebook pixel? And in its essence, I mean, the Facebook pixel is just some code, right? It's just a little piece of code that goes on your website or anywhere that you want to track people who visit. But that's all it is. It's just this little snippet of code that goes in there. You don't have to write the code. You don't have to know what the code means. You don't have to get overwhelmed by it. It's just this piece of code. And that code literally just tracks. That's all it's there for, is to track. Like, so if somebody clicks on your Facebook ad and they go to your website, so Facebook can track them. Now, it's not like they are going to tell you that person's name or their email address or their height or weight or any of that stuff, but they're just going to kind of pull that data, and then Facebook kind of holds that data and allows you to create certain, what we call, and we'll talk about this more on the next episode, but create what we call retargeting audiences. And so they're just tracking you. So if you've ever been to Amazon and looked at a book and then you saw the book that you were just looking at on Facebook, well, that's because they pixeled you, right? And yes, you are being tracked. Now, you can have pixel blockers. People do. Apple just came out with something about their phones and their browser on their phone automatically having these certain type of pixels blocked and so forth. But in general, you are being tracked one way or another. So who tracks you? Well, like I just said, Amazon's one. Google, Facebook, Apple, I mean, pretty much everybody, any kind of big player in the market, they're tracking you because that's how they, you know, market. That's how they make money, by tracking you and serving you ads about their company that they think you're going to take action on. So that's why. I mean, that's the why of they track you. They know the marketing golden rule, which is it takes at least about approximately 5 touches for somebody to buy, especially if they don't know who you are. Now, if you're a brand name company, so if you're Apple, well, people know who Apple is, so it's not nearly as important to establish that brand identity. However, because the identity was already established, so the know, like, and trust factor is already there, right? You already trust Apple, you know who they are, whether you like them or not, you know who they are. So, you know, for you, maybe that's not the case yet. You know, you may need to get in front of somebody 5, 7, 10 times before they're going to buy from you, before they feel comfortable enough to buy from you. That's why it is, you know, especially now, it is just not a good idea to try to one and done it. In other words, you know, get a click to your website, and if they don't buy, then just forget about them. that's really not a good strategy, especially not with Facebook ads, because it is so powerful and so easy to use Facebook ads to retarget those people, and so it's inexpensive that you just have to be doing that. So that's what it's really all about, is remarketing / retargeting, whatever you want to call it. And you really need to be doing that. That's why this code is imperative to get on your website sooner rather than later. And so I'm going to tell you real quick where you can find it. And by the way, I think I'll do a little video in the show notes so you'll have it there too, because I just haven't done it yet. But the pixel, once you go into your ads manager, in the upper left, the 3 slashes where it says ads manager and the drop down, when you click that drop down, it should say pixels. If it doesn't, click where it says all tools, and then it should show you your pixels. And there's actually a place in there, if you haven't set up your pixel before, that says set up pixel. So you can actually take that code and email it directly to your web person, or you can input it yourself. There's instructions in there on how to do it. It is not super complicated, and the cool thing is you don't have to fool with it after you've installed it. It's not like you got to keep going back and messing with it and changing it and all that kind of thing. You just don't have to do that. But it's better to go ahead and get installed now than later, because you want Facebook to go ahead and start doing the tracking now. All right, and it's not indefinite, meaning they can't go back indefinitely for people who are visiting your website and so forth, but they will go back up to 180 days and of who's visited, and you can actually retarget those people or remarket to them. So that's the power of the pixel. You can harness that power, right? But you have to have it installed. And so this is how important it is, just so you know. Your business may actually not survive without doing this, okay? It's definitely not going to thrive, but it may not even survive. And what I mean is that remarketing and retargeting is so powerful right now that, and I'm just telling you, your competitors, most of them aren't doing this. All right, they're not doing this, and if they are doing it, they're not doing it in a way that's effective. You can be the person that's doing that. You can get out in front of this curve. All right, the pixel's been around for a long time. It didn't just show up a week ago, a year ago, 5 years ago. It's been here. Okay, so it's just that most people weren't using it. Now you can install that on your site or your landing pages or wherever and start tracking people so that you can retarget them with things that they may be interested in. And so I encourage you to do that. That's all that the Facebook Pixel is. That's what it's used for. That's why it's important to get it installed. Now, if you on the next episode, we're going to talk about how to take the Facebook Pixel and grow your business. I have mentioned a couple of things here, but we're going to kind of expand on that. But I wanted to make sure that we understood the foundation of it, where the Facebook Pixel is, what it is, the code, where to find it, and what you need to do with it. So if you have any questions about it, I know it can be super confusing, especially if you're not techie or tech scares you. Hey, totally understand. Feel free to reach out to me or join my Facebook group. It's a closed Facebook group called Funnel Strategies for Facebook. You can still join it. I haven't started charging for it yet. I've been telling you I'm going to do that, and I am going to do it. It's coming pretty soon. It's just not here yet. But once you're in, you're in. So hope to see you there. Reach out with any questions, and I'll talk to you next time. Thanks so much.